Hey, what's going on guys? Mixuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a JESKAI CODIE control deck for Standard 2022. So I've seen a couple people play this deck here and there, and honestly it's a crazy fun deck. I played it at the end of Strixhaven, and not many people saw that just because around the end of the set the hype kind of dies down and everyone's hyped for the new D&D stuff. But we're going to play it in Standard 2022 where it is such a blast. A lot of the deck from actual standard is still legal in 2022, so we play a lot of the same cards, and I'll go through the list pretty quickly. We got Codie. Now, really quick, for those of you that don't know, 3 mana 1/4, you can't cast permanent spells. For 4 mana and a tap, you get a Wooburg. Then when you cast your next spell, you basically get to Cascade, and that means that you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card with lesser mana value, and until the end of that turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And then you basically put each other card exiled this way at the bottom of your library in a random order. So Codie lets us on turn 4 ramp into a 5 mana spell and then cascade downwards. So we essentially play a Jeskai control shell with like a bunch of removal, card draw, card selection, interaction, right? Command, board wipes, card draw, all that type of stuff. We have expressive iterations, but essentially all these cards are centered around the Codie activation. So whenever Codie activates, right, like we play Lorehold Command on 5, Lightning Helix a thing, make a 3/2, and then we go downwards and we shoot at random. We can reveal anything from a Behold the Multiverse to a Shock. So it adds a sort of gambling casino fun element to the deck where you kind of have an idea on what you can hit. You know it's going to be something from the lower CMC, but you don't know what it's going to be. The only time you really know is like if ever you use Codie and Dragon's Fire or Rip Apart or Expressive Iteration, you know that you're going to exile the Shock, which is why I only have one Shock. Also, we're playing Shock on 1 because I'm running a lot less sweepers than the other builds do. I've had a lot of success just taking over with Codie into Lorehold Command. This gives you 2 creatures, it gains you 3 life, takes out a thing, and I feel like you should be able to stabilize from there. One of the more overpowering play patterns we have is Codie into Alrund's Epiphany on turn 5 if you foretold it, and on turn 6 if you haven't. This essentially lets you cast Alrund's Epiphany and cascade down to anything in your deck, which is also why I don't like, not anything but the Magma Opus. This is also why I don't like sweepers in my deck. I don't like hitting Alrund's Epiphany and cascading into like Doomscar or Draconic Intervention. Draconic Intervention, is a bit better, I find, which is why I'm running it. Even though it doesn't hit a lot of dragons in the format, we can essentially exile a 3 CMC spell from the yard and not take out our Codie. The 1/4 booty is pretty relevant. But we're running 1 Doomscar because sometimes you just need to sweep the board. What else do we have that's not like totally standard? All this is just early interaction. You know, this gets you through your deck and make sure you hit land drops. You have a learn card, which is really good because if you're running out of gas, you can just learn for Mascot Exhibition and activate Codie and learn downwards from, or cascade downwards from there. Prismari Command, really good against Gruul and stuff like that. Helps you find your Codie, ramps you the treasure into the command is relevant. Codie, obviously. Starnheim Unleashed is cool. It can be a win con. X can get really big, meaning Codie can cascade down for a lot. If not, a 4 mana 4/4 flyer that cascades is pretty good. Behold as a decent cascade target. Also pretty happy to hit it off our more expensive spells most of the time. We have these spell lands, which are really good in this deck. Basically, they act as just obviously lands, but we can also activate them to trigger Cascade with Codie and go downwards from there. It's really sweet. Magma Opus, the best use for Magma Opus is triggering an Alrund's Epiphany and popping off from there. So we have that, and you can also ramp towards it with cards like Prismari Command and Codie. We have 1 Velomachus Lorehold, which is something I saw from Ali Eldrazi. Basically, it lets you get a ton of damage off your Dragonfires. It lets them hit for 5 instead of 2. And if ever you don't have Codie on the board, you can just play this, and it can activate anything lower down in your deck off hitting, which is freaking sweet. And it's the only permanent spell we run that isn't Codie. So there's not that much of a cost to having it in the deck. The rest of the deck is just a bunch of lands. We have 1 Hall of the Storm Giants as a blocker / alternate win con, Snarl and Snarl, because we do have some basics, and these can enter untapped a fair amount of the time. And if not, you have 1 Campus to fix your mana, always enter tapped and help scry. Honestly, I really think the Snarls are better, but I'm trying 1 in 1 out just to see which one I prefer and how often I really do activate the campus and how often I get a untapped Snarl. So we'll see from there. Learn board, fix your mana, draw some cards, take out an artifact or ping something, draw some cards, make a 5/4 that cascades, take out something and it cascades. Ideally, all these cards, you have to like evaluate them with Codie in mind as well, and Mascot Exhibition as the finisher. We only have one divide by 0, so just one of each sideboard card. Anyways, guys, if you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. Deck list will be in the description down below as always, and consider subscribing. Motivates me to make more content. So that's gonna be for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, hand is not horrible. We have all our mana, some card draw, divide to interact and get some more card advantage, and eventually an all-runs epiphany. So we're gonna lead on the hull, probably put this on red. Okay, awesome. Snarl coming in clutch. And we foretell the epiphany. So finding Codie would be amazing here. Command. So do we Expressive Iteration or do we Prismari Command? I think we just Prismari Command here. On the off chance that they have Evolving Wilds. Okay, they don't. So we do this in response. 2 damage. And I think I just Rummage or draw 2, ditch 2. Okay, cool. I don't need all that land. I'll probably find more with Iteration anyways. Strixhaven Stadium. Okay. Nice. Do I just return it to their hand? Okay, let's just make sure we know how this works. Tap, add for generic. Put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on the stadium. Then if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all and that player loses the game. Okay. Sounds okay. So let's go for Expressive Iteration. I'm not too worried about this right now. Interesting. We find Codie, but we also find more interaction. I'm gonna take Codie. Put this into my library, this into exile, because we already have more Codies in the deck. I think we just put more blue for now, because we're going to need double blue anyways for the all-runs epiphany. Retriever Phoenix, that's fine. Okay, so 3 counters on the stadium. I want to go for an iteration into a land and then play Codie as well, because if not, I'm just playing Codie and passing. Perfect. Alright, now we just hope they cannot interact with my book. It's an interesting card because now it makes them have like 2 win cons. They can beat me down and they also have this. Yeah, that's a no blocks. I take 7. Alright. I mean, we're getting a little bit closer. Is it combat damage or is it just damage? Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage. Okay. So this was kicked. I can activate Codie and go for extra turn, right? Let's get triple white online because we do have Amiria's calls. And go for the all-runs epiphany. Cascade into shock. Probably the worst card we can cascade into. But you know what? Free spell is free spell. I'm not going to complain too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have 8 mana. We can use Magma Opus. I could be greedy and use it on their turn, but then I might hit a sorcery I cannot cast. I literally think that's fine. And you know what we're going to do as well? I'm going to get triple blue online because we also have Seagate Restoration. So, we're going to start swinging this Strixhaven Stadium a little bit. Yep. Remove those counters. So, I think this is a Magma Opus turn. But you know what? We have So many Allruns Epiphanies in the deck that we can actually hit. I'm going to be greedy and go for it now and just deal 4 damage to this thing. Hold on, I'm tapping Codie, right? I just want to make sure I tap Codie. So we deal 4 damage here. Sure. Whatever, this doesn't matter. Submit. Cascade. Damn it, no Allruns Epiphany. Hey, we find one in hand though for next turn. We're gonna cast this. Hand. Library, just in case we need another Codie. Okay. Kind of popping off here. Retriever Phoenix. Reanimates other Phoenix. Alright. I see you, opponent. I see you. So, 3 more counters and we lose, but I think that's okay. We're going to do this, and we're going to cast other Allruns Epiphany. It would not surprise me if the opponent just scoops it up here. There we go. Nice. And we just get a crazy amount of cascade value from there, and we're also swinging into our opponent, taking down their life total and the counters from Strixhaven Stadium. What a weird hand. You know what? I think this is keepable. We have turn 2 Foretell, turn 3 Expressive Iteration. Pretty good mana. Hello. And I'm going to start with the Amiria's Cults tapped, because I'm not going to play this on 2 anyways. And we can get Snarl down untapped. So even if we're not removing stuff on 2, we can at least spend our mana profitably. Okay. Looks like Mardu Treasure. And we can begin foretelling Epiphanies. So hopefully they don't have a crazy start with a like stupid aggro curve. But we can take a couple 1 points of damage. They hunt. All of this is a little bit annoying, but not a crazy big deal. If we can find Codie here, that'd be huge. Okay, no Codie. I could play Hull tapped and foretell Epiphany. And I literally have to because I played this on 1. Okay, slight oops, but it's alright. It's not ideal, but it's like fine. We're lucky the opponent got off to a slow start. Let's just put it that way. Maybe I should have played this later, but it is was our only white source at the time. We have another one here now. We'll see. Are they just going to play Pest Summoning and go even wider? They are. Okay. Is this a Behold the Multiverse turn, or is this an Expressive Iteration turn? I think we go for Expressive Iteration and then foretell Behold the Multiverse. And Library Exile. So, I'm playing this out on what? I think white, because we're a bit lacking in the white mana department. And we're going to foretell anyways. So is it a Starnheim Unleashed or Behold the Multiverse? I think we're foretelling Starnheim Unleashed. We really just look like foretell control. Let's see if Codie can play a fair game, just like a fair Jeskai control game. I mean, we're about to pop off. We have Lorehold Command into double Epiphany. I just wish we had Codie to make the entire exchange much sweeter. They play another Kalane, so their hand must not be amazing, and they get rid of the one with the counter. Yeah, that is an oops. So they essentially just use 2 mana for a treasure. I might have, maybe I should have held that, just because we do have other Snarls in the deck, and they can come in untapped off a basic mountain. I'm going to go for the command, though. Make a 3-2, deal 3 damage to anything. We're going to shoot Kalane. and make a spirit. Start blocking these pests. Okay, we're doing fine, we're doing fine. Third Kalane. Yeah, okay, so opponent's draw was pretty awkward as well. Fireblade Charger. Another Lorehold command. Okay, so how many angels can we make if we go for this? 1, 2. Is it worth making 2 angels? And then like chaining Alrund's Epiphanies? Or is it worth just playing 1 Alrund's Epiphany into 3 angels from Starnheim Unleashed? Let's go with that. I'm going to attack. Because we're going to use Alrund's Epiphany anyways. Opponent trades with the Charger. That's fine. Shoot, face. We're going to put this on triple white or triple blue. Let's get a bit more blue down first. And then go for Alrund's Epiphany. It's really sad that we don't have Codie for these. We could play Draconic Intervention and sweep the board here. Let's say we do that. I can foretell Behold. I don't think that's worth it though. We can just hold everything back with our angels. 1, 2, 3. I want, I think, another white source. Then we go for 3 angels. Okay. Not bad. And I think we can start pushing in damage now. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world for the opponent to handle 3 angels. Your go. See, we just look like a really weird Jeskai control deck. But this is fine. We're handling everything a-okay. What's the opponent's last card? Could be a Goldspan Dragon. So Awaken the Blood Avatar. Okay. So they ping my birds, or -1/-1, one of my birds, ping the other one. We have to sacrifice an angel, which is unfortunate. If they attack, I'm just going to double block. We don't lose an angel and they lose their avatar. Yeah. So we go to 2 here. Oh, game's lagging a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. How greedy do I want to be? I could go for an expressive iteration, try to find a land. Are they dead anyways? 8 + 8 + 2. And that's 18. And then they're dead to burn. Okay, cool. We don't even have to risk it for the land. Alrund's Epiphany. We might have hit it. Oh, they're bored. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I could have killed them with this too, but we're gonna kill them in style. I do it right? Yep. And we draw some cards. I just wanted to make sure I didn't Lightning Helix myself. And that's game. We literally take a dub without Codie, which is sick. Good hand. Let's keep it a little bit slow, but I think it's okay. So what's on what? Let's get this down on blue first. Because I kind of want blue and red online so I can play iteration on 3 if I find one. Okay. So does that mean this one's just red, but I also kind of want double blue? I also want to hold this for a Snarl. You know what? We're going to play this on red. And we're going to foretell Starnheim Unleashed. Okay. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. Dryad on 2 is a lot worse than Dryad on 1. I could also slow them down even more. I need to get some white online. But do I do it with this? I think I do it with this one to be able to have double blue as well. Okay. And we get down Codie. Let's go. If the opponent wants to pay 2 mana to ramp themselves, that is completely fine with us. Like, we have 0 issues here. So what's it going to be? I can, next turn, get 2 angels, or we can go for a Lorehold command and see the different modes we have on that. Oh, they're just bouncing my Codie. That's so lame. Okay. Okay. Not making angels yet. I think we literally just replay Codie. And then what? We play this. It's a little worse if we draw a Snarl, but I kind of want my colors known. Like double blue and double white are both important. So I'm just going to play out my mountain. Tapped Snarl. Awkward, but it's okay. All right, and the opponent just passes there. So what do we want to do? This makes 5 mana. So we have 6 technically. We have technically 6 mana. So do we just 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, do I just make 2 angels anyways? Like, despite the fact that we have all that mana? I think so. Because this, if we Lorehold command the Dryad, they just sacrifice it in response. Okay, I'm going to put this on white for now. And we're going to go activate Codie. And we're going to pay 4 mana. Sorry, we're going to go pay here. Like that. And Codie will cascade even if Starnheim Unleashed gets countered. Yeah, Starnheim Unleashed gets countered. We cascade like our whole freaking deck. We find Rip Apart, which isn't crazy, but it does take out the Dryad. So I guess that kind of works out. At least our deck was put back. I saw a lot of land go. Like, a lot of freaking land. They behold for 2, probably just found some land. And now we're gonna absolutely pop off. All runs Epiphany. Cascade. Dragon's Fire. Man. Sad. I'm not even gonna cast that. This is deeply upsetting to me. I'm gonna do it again. I'ma frickin' do it again. Starnheim Unleashed. You know what? That's fine. At least we get a creature. Okay. Seagate Restoration. Do we have enough blue for that? Hold on, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we freaking do. Seagate Restoration. Into a Lorehold command. We're kind of popping off, guys. Let's go. Okay, tap Campus. The opponent scoops it up. Hey, we didn't even have an extra turn there. We just got a ton of Codie value. What's the problem? Card is sweet. Okay, very Boros hand. I'm gonna keep it. We should be fine. I'm also gonna hold the mountain because if we draw Is It Snarl, then we can play it untapped. So we're gonna start with the pathway, then into like plains. because Mountain unlocks all of our pathways in the deck, while Plains unlocks the Boros one. Okay, looks like we're up against Mono Green. Is this a Dragon's Fire or is this a Rip Apart? Dragon's Fire can deal with bigger things, but Rip Apart can deal with Ranger's class. How much do I care about the Jaspiro Sentinel? I think we pass. See what the opponent wants to do. If they play the 2-mana 3/3. Okay, they play Magda. Do they want to get in there, or are they just going to tap Magda for the treasure? Okay, they just tap Magda for the treasure. And now they're going to play a Lotus Cobra. Okay, so opponent is popping off. Lots of mana. Which one do I take out? I think we take out Magda. Very rampy deck. Hull, awkward. I'm going to put this on white because we have another mountain. And go for Codie. Let's see if Codie can live, and if it does, we can play Lorehold Command next turn. So that's 4/5 mana with the Sentinel tap. Are we going to see Goldspan Dragon? Oh, don't be like that. Double removal spell? Wow, okay. Sure, like, you do you, man. I'm going to bolt the Cobra. Opponent is no fun. At least they blatantly 2-for-1 themselves. Seeka's Chariot. Okay. Okay. Rip Apart would have been good there. Holrun's Epiphany. Okay. I can go for an expressive iteration. Try to find Codie. And, like, expressive iteration land Codie is so good, but that's really best case scenario. I can guarantee myself some action with Lorehold Command, but what am I really doing with it? Making a 3/2? I can make a 4/2 indestructible and take out the Chariot, but I'd rather, like, bolt something and make the 3/2. Maybe I just bolt this. Maybe I do it now and I just bolt the cat and hope they don't have another creature to crew the Chariot with. This is tough. I think we do that. I think I Lightning Helix here. And then I make the 3/2. And then they need a creature to crew the Chariot with. Okay, here we go. Do you have a creature? Land. One more card. If it's removal spell, like, that's fine. Dragon's Fire. Alright. I want to say, like, it was a gamble, but it wasn't a crazy gamble. Divide by 0 is good. I'm going to use Iteration. We need to try to find more blue anyways. Oh, yeah. And as much as I don't like getting rid of another expressive iteration, I think we need this Prismari Command just to be able to take out Chariot. I don't want to divide the Chariot to hand, like, ever, because on recast it generates 2 cats. What did you draw? If it's like Goldspan Dragon, we could just divide it. Gruul aggro, running a bunch more ramp than I would expect out of Gruul. Okay, they go to attackers. I think we can do this now. Well, you know what? Yeah. We can do this now. Whatever they cast or whatever they play with Divide, we can just send back to their hand afterwards. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we have 6 mana. Foretell the Epiphany. Play, tap, snarl, say go. Okay, game has really slowed down. Thankfully, we have Hall of the Storm Giants. And I'm not really too keen on using Divide by Zero on a Aegisphere Sentinel. I want them to cast something else. Magda, even that's not crazy. It's not very expensive, but I think it's still worth dividing. They don't get to generate the treasure off of it. We get to fetch Mascot Exhibition. Doomscar, okay. I'm going to cast the Mascot Exhibition now, because Mascot Exhibition into Alrund's Epiphany is a legit curve. Or not curve, but play pattern, sorry. Magda returns. Frostbite my 3-2. Will that be all? That is all. And we actually have another Alrund's Epiphany to cast. So let's go. No Codie, which is pretty sad. But we do what we can with, you know, the rest of our deck. Opponent really jumped through hoops to remove Codie. I'm happy they're trading this here. And I'm pretty happy they're tapping their Magda as well. Unless they need 3 mana for something. Use the 7 mana Epiphany, because if we draw land here, we can foretell Doomscar into Alrund's Epiphany, and the opponent scoops it up. Let's go. Jeskai control without a, activation from Codie still puts in the work.